Welcome to PoliticsNY with Skye, behind the curtain, where we speak with local leaders and elected officials about what's going on, where they're from. So right now I'm with DuWayne Gregory, who is a town councilman in town of Babylon, and he's also running this diversity, equity, and inclusion practice at McBride Consulting. So it's great to have you here.
Great. Thank you, Skye. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and you were the presiding officer of the Suffolk County Legislature for quite some time as well.
Yeah, no, it was a great opportunity. I was a legislator for 11 years, and 7 of those years I was the presiding officer, and prior to that I was the majority leader. So yeah, it was a great time. Loved the people, loved the opportunity, and now I'm in Babylon and doing some consulting as well.
Yeah, no, it's really fantastic. It takes a specific type of person who can work back and forth with consulting and government and politics, because it all blends together.
Right, right. Yeah, it's first got involved in government to help constituents. That was like the favorite part, and for me, that I enjoyed the most. And the type of consulting that I do is very similar. A lot of times business people in particular, they don't really know how government works. They don't understand how it works.
Right.
And having that insight can be very helpful to them. And so you get to help them in their needs, and you get to pick the clients that you choose and the issues that you work on. And so that way it's almost the same. It's like almost a different side of the same coin in a sense. You get to help people, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. So what are some of the types of things that you're working on at McBride right now?
Yeah, so our firm recently launched a diversity, equity, inclusion practice, and so we're very focused on getting that out. With the George Floyd and social justice, calls for social justice. There's been a lot of focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, not only here locally but across America. And it's really invigorated this conversation on how are we treating people of different backgrounds? Are we, are there opportunities for them to explore? Are they having equitable opportunities? Are they feeling included in the workplace? So we felt that we could be a part of that conversation and be helpful and help businesses because there are a lot of businesses out there that want to be a part of that strategy, but they just don't know how to implement it. So
Right.
we're there to help guide them and do that. So it's very rewarding.
What are you focused on as a town council member? It's specific to your district or the whole
Yes.
town, actually.
Yeah, in Babylon, we don't have districts. We're town-wide. Because I'm a veteran, I'm the chair of our Veterans Committee. I'm also the chairman of our Human Services Committee, which oversees our senior centers. We have food pantries, different services to our senior citizens and handicapped individuals in the town. And we have a wonderful commissioner and deputy commissioner staff, and they do a tremendous job, and it's really rewarding. Sometimes I cringe a little bit. I go into the senior center and they're dancing, and you're like, oh my God, someone's gonna break a hip or something, but they really enjoy it. They're like a family, and they're full of smiles and laughter and fun, and it's like, when I come of that age, which I'm closer to that age than not, I hope that there are facilities that are available that I can go to, really enjoy my time and fellowship with fellow people and get good food. I mean, they plan trips, they do a whole bunch of it's great. It really is.
Yeah, it's fun. So
Yeah.
let's dive into politics a little bit. Now,
Sure.
you recently made an endorsement crossing party lines, which is something that people get all up in arms about. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter what party you're with. It's always good to promote bipartisanship and be able to work with everyone.
Yeah, and in particular, I think some people may see it odd in today's world where Democrats stay with Democrats and Republicans stay with Republicans, and that's unfortunate. I think we really need to start looking at the people for who they are and what they stand for and what they can do, if their values align with ours. I was the first vice chairman of the Suffolk County Democratic Party for many years. I was the president of the Young Democrats. I've been an active Democrat since 1991, 30 years, and helping various Democrats get elected. So it wasn't easy for me to just mentally to come to the conclusion that not only will I not support my party's candidate for this office, but to actually support the Republican opponent. And so I sat down with Ray Tierney and really got a sense of that he's just a good person, a decent person, who really cares about people, who certainly has experience as a prosecutor, and just my walls and my guard just came down and said, you know what, we can do this. This is not something I've done, but I feel comfortable doing it, and that he's the right person for the job.
Yeah, I had him on the show last week or the week before, and I haven't had Tim Sini on the show, but he is invited. I met him in person and told him he's invited, and I did reach
Mhm.
out. So we're waiting on that interview. But with Ray, I learned that although he's running on the Republican and conservative lines, he's not even registered to a political party
Right,
himself. And his whole stance on the role of a DA is that it should be someone who's nonpartisan, that you should be able to just make decisions
right.
using your brain and without party influence.
Yeah, right. An office like that is, it's our office, right? It's the people's office. You're the quote unquote people's prosecutor. You shouldn't be using the office to go after your political enemies. I mean, that's what, Catterson did, and to some extent, I guess what Tom Spota was accused of doing. We've had a lot of corruption in this office. It's a lot of power, so it's important to have the right people who understand the weight of the office, the seriousness of the office, who are, mature enough to handle that responsibility in that office and not use it for their own personal benefit or the benefit of their friends and family.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I wondered how, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but any backlash that came from the party once you made this endorsement?
No, no, it's interesting because people are like, oh, because there's this fracture, if you will, in the between Rich Schaefer, the party chairman, and Steve Malone, and I certainly am more supportive of Rich Schaefer, and people just, well, is Rich Schaefer behind this? And it's funny, I saw him after the endorsement, and I always know, I don't want to say when I'm in trouble with him, but when I've caused him some angst, I should say, he always says, he goes, oh, Duano. He calls me Duano. I was like, uh-oh, what did I do? So he says, yeah, I just started getting calls, and I was leaving, I forgot where he was leaving. He says, I sorry, my phone started blowing up, like, what's this about? And I was like, yep. I said I had to do it. And he was like, all right, so
Yeah, and Ray Tierney's at the top of the ticket because the county executive's not on the ticket, so he's the first person as a county-wide, so he could really win. Because I keep saying Suffolk County's a red place. He could really win.
yeah, I think, the mood of the client, the mood of the electorate this year, I think people are, they want change, and they've seen all the drama and the controversy in Suffolk County government as of particularly in the past 9 months or so. And they see a candidate and an incumbent that's part of that same system of corruption and what's going on, and that's disappointing people. Like, what, here's a fresh new face. The guy's never run for office, never, as far as I know, never expressed interest for running for office, certainly has experience, is qualified to do the job. Why not look in another direction?
And I'll ask you what I asked Rich Schaefer on my episode that came out this morning with him, is about how do you think, DuWayne, this would impact someone like Todd Kaminski, who's running for DA as a Democrat in Nassau County?
Yeah, I think, again, I think the mood of the electorate is really leaning against the Democrats, it appears, and I think Todd is particularly affected because he's a state legislator with the bail reform law. So, fortunately or unfortunately, for him, they're trying to label him as, the architect of that reform, and I know he's certainly lobbied to make amendments, but that's politics. People are gonna, something, you're gonna get blamed for everything that's wrong in Albany, and you'll try to take credit for everything that's right in Albany. It's just It's just the way it works, you know?
Yeah. Any other political insights that you want to give us?
Oh boy. You know, I know what the mood the way it is. I still believe that the electorate, excuse me, that the legislature, Suffolk County Legislature will remain in Democrat hands. I think Errol Toulon, I think he wins. He's a great, I don't know if you ever met him personally. He's just a super nice guy, very qualified, he's done a great job. And not someone who's willing to bow to pressure either. You know, he's very
Yeah.
independent in that way. NASA, I think Laura Curran wins. I'm not sure how the legislature would turn, but I would, I think things probably stay status quo.
Yeah.
Um, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Todd Kaminski. He has a boatload of money. He spent $1 million. He has $1 million. His opponent hasn't raised that much. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that was going to be a squeaker, but I think he may.
Yeah. And
Uh,
you think Laura Kern reigns successful in this
yeah,
race
yeah,
against Bruce Blakeman?
yeah. I think she is. Laura, to me, has really shown courage. You know, when taking on the assessment system the way she has. It's not the most sexy issue, but it's certainly an important issue to those people who are, paying too much in their taxes. But it's an issue that's like a lightning rod that 50% of the people are for it, 50% of the people are against it. And she had the courage to, in her first term, early on in her first term, to really take it on. And bravo to her. I'm not
Yeah.
sure many people would have done that. She's, the Republicans are attacking her on it, but I think she'll still
Right.
survive.
Right. Okay. So final question now about young people getting involved in office. You mentioned you got involved 30 years ago, so you must have been very young.
Watch yourself. Yes, I 22
Okay,
at the
young.
time. Yeah.
So how do we encourage more young people now to get involved in local politics?
Yeah, no, that's something that I wholeheartedly believe in. And people, unfortunately, they don't get involved until they're homeowners
Right.
and there's a personal interest. But I think it's unfortunate, even as college students, decisions are being made about college programs and funding and student loans and things of that nature that can have an impact on us, on I say us, on young people.
Yeah. See, you're still
So
young.
yeah, I'm young at heart. So it's important to really, understand the power of your voice and get involved and be a part of that change, be a part of that conversation. Because whether you're involved or not, I try to tell people the decisions are going to be made. So why not get involved and at least have some impact or influence on what the outcome will be.
Hmm. I know. So that's what we hope for as
Yeah.
we look forward to the future of Long Island and New York.
Yes. Yeah, our beautiful Long Island that's, that we want our young people to stay in, and it's affordable, that they can raise their families, enjoy the benefits like we did, going to the beaches and everything. And it's a shame that if they wouldn't be able to do that, but
Mhm.
getting them involved will help us be able to help them achieve the lifestyle they want for themselves and their families.
Totally. So thank you, DuWayne Gregory from McBride Consulting and Town Council member. So you're the Honorable DuWayne Gregory. Thank you for being here on PoliticsNY with Skye.
All right. Well, thank you, Skye. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.